Every single time you hit send on an email, you're kicking off an invisible, high-stakes journey. It's not just a simple flick of data from you to someone else. Oh no. It's a mad dash through a gauntlet of digital checkpoints and security scans. So today, we're going to follow one of those emails and uncover that hidden world. And here's why this journey is so incredibly important. Take a look at this number. According to cybersecurity research, over 90% of all successful cyber attacks start with a simple email. Just let that sink in. The most common way criminals break into networks, steal data, and just cause chaos, it all starts in the very inboxes we use every single day. So if our inboxes are basically the front line in this constant battle for our digital security, what are the defenses? What's going on behind the curtain every second of every day to protect us? Well, let's follow an email on its journey and find out. All right, first step on our journey is what we call the delivery backbone. This is the fundamental plumbing of the internet that makes sure an email even knows where it's going long before it gets checked for anything nasty. It all starts with you, right inside your Mail User Agent, or MUA. That's just a fancy term for your email app, whether it's Outlook, Gmail, whatever. When you hit send, your MUA hands the message off to something called a Mail Transfer Agent, or MTA. You can think of this MTA as a super efficient digital postal worker. Its first job? Look up the recipient's address in the internet's giant address book, the DNS, and open up a direct line for delivery. Let's zero in on that MTA for a second, because it's really the unsung hero of the email world. This piece of software is the workhorse that grabs your email and masterfully routes it from one server to the next. I mean, it can bounce an email across continents in a flash, all while making sure it stays on the perfect path to its final destination. But how does that MTA know the exact server to deliver to? It's not just guessing. That's where the Mail Exchanger Record, or MX record, comes into play. It's this critical little signpost in the DNS that basically screams, hey, for anyone trying to email example.com, this is the front door. Deliver all the mail right here. Without that clear signpost, your email is just lost. Okay, so our email has its address and it knows where it's going, but now it faces its next, and you could argue its most important challenge, proving who it is. Welcome to the digital passport check. This is where the real security kicks in. And this gets right to the heart of the problem with email. See, anyone, anywhere, can write a fake from address. It's called spoofing. It's how scammers trick you into thinking you're getting an urgent note from your boss or your bank. So the big question for the receiving server is, how do we know who really sent this? Well, the answer lies in this powerful team of three you see right here. First up is SPF, or Sender Policy Framework. Think of it as a public list that a domain publishes that says, hey world, only servers at these specific IP addresses are allowed to send email from me. So it checks the location. Next, you've got DKIM. This adds a kind of digital tamper-proof signature into the email's code. It's like a wax seal on an old letter. It proves the message hasn't been messed with along the way. And finally, there's DMARC. DMARC is the enforcer. It gives the receiving server clear instructions like, if either of those first two checks fail, here's exactly what to do. Throw the email out. And I really need to drive this point home. SPF, DKIM, and DMARC are not optional pick-and-choose settings. They are a single interconnected system. Not using all three is basically like locking your front door but leaving every single window in your house wide open. You need the whole shebang for real, meaningful protection. So our email has proven its identity. Its passport is stamped. But it is not home free yet, not even close. Now it faces the most dangerous part of its trip, the security gauntlet, where advanced systems are actively hunting for anything malicious. The main checkpoint here is called the Secure Email Gateway, or SEG. I want you to literally picture a heavily armed, high-tech fortress gate standing in front of a company's entire digital world. Every single message trying to get in or out is stopped right here and put through a whole battery of intense security checks before it's allowed to pass. One of the coolest tools inside this gateway is something called sandboxing. So if the system sees a sketchy link or an attachment it doesn't recognize, it doesn't just guess if it's bad. It sends that thing to a sandbox, a totally separate, isolated virtual computer. Inside this digital detonation chamber, the system safely opens the file and just watches it. Does it try to do anything weird? Contact a shady server? If it shows even a hint of bad behavior, poof, it's vaporized long before it ever gets the chance to reach a real user. But, security is always a cat and mouse game.
The old way of doing things, signature-based detection, is like a security guard with a photo album of known criminals. It's great at catching the usual suspects, but it is completely blind to a brand new threat it's never seen before. That's why modern systems use AI-powered behavioral analysis. This is more like a seasoned detective. It actually learns what's normal for an organization, who emails whom, what time of day they do it, and it flags anything out of the ordinary. A sudden urgent request for a wire transfer from the CEO at 3 in the morning? Yeah, the AI knows that's not normal, and it sounds the alarm.
So, after following this email on its wild journey from server to server through passport checks and security gauntlets, it becomes crystal clear why all these hidden steps are so absolutely vital for protecting our digital lives. And this quote from IT support analyst Daniel Mortimer just nails it. As our technical defenses get stronger and stronger, hackers are actually making their attacks simpler. They're relying more on just tricking people, hoping a simple-looking but deceptive message can slide past the filters. And this is exactly where that behavioral AI is such a game changer. It's designed to spot those very attempts.
So, what are the big takeaways here? First, remember that email is never instant. It's a complex journey. Second, that digital passport of SPF, DKIM, and DMARC is absolutely essential for proving who a sender really is. Third, modern security gateways use smart tools like AI and sandboxing to catch the threats that older systems just can't see. And finally, real security is never about just one thing. It's always about having multiple layers of defense. Which really just leaves us with one final and pretty important thought. The path that every single email has to travel is getting more dangerous by the day. As the attackers get smarter and more relentless, the question we all have to ask is this: are our defenses evolving fast enough to keep up?